emberstorm.
Hello there, my name is Dmachine, and this is a Ret Paladin guide for patch 5.4. So, first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the talent tree. Now, in the talent tree, not a lot has changed since 5.3, though there is a few more options. What I mean by that is the main talent in 5.3 was what you're looking at right here. Honestly, my main talents are now this. Very, very similar, but I've been using execution sentence quite a bit more. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. So, the first tier, you're going to want Long Arm the Law. No real competition. Pursuit of Justice and Speed of Light, just not the best, not the most consistent speed boost. So, Long Arm the Law is usually what I use. And not only that, but Judgment is your priority for a speed boost. And also, it's a priority because of our new glyph, Burden of Guilt, and it gives you Selfless Healer procs. Judgment is your bread and butter, and so the more you judge, the faster you are, and so on and so forth. Second tier, Fist of Justice is what I use most often, though Evil as a point of view is a new change. It gives you the ability to fear your enemy team. I don't end up using that very often though. Evil as a point of view, it requires you to stop and start casting, and that makes you vulnerable to get kicked and things like that, and usually the enemy team that you're fighting will have more than enough utility to stop you, and then you're going to have to close a gap again between you and your enemy that you are trying to kill. So I end up sticking with Fist of Justice, and it's a really, really great ability to start a CC chain because it's instant and it has a crazy range, and you don't have to be looking at anything. It's awesome. Try it. Selfless Healer. Selfless Healer is the best. Eternal Flame there for a little while had 100% if you use it on yourself. I still didn't find it all that useful. I mean, having a whole separate instant cast ability, not with my Word of Glory, instead of just buffing my Word of Glory and giving it a hot, seemed just better. Not only that, but I have so many Selfless Healer procs because of the amount that I'm judging. So Selfless Healer is always going to be my favorite. Then this tier gets a little tricky. You got Clemency, still my bread and butter. I probably use it 80% of the time against certain comps. Unbreakable Spirit is for teams that you feel are going to be, it's games that would last a long period of time, often used against like spell cleaves, not necessarily UA locks because Hand of Purity will override it, but for teams that will last a long period of time and you'd be able to utilize the reduction in cooldown. For instance, it reduces it by 50%, but I mean, what's the cooldown on it? It's 5 minutes. So it's going to be every 2.5 minutes you're going to be able to bubble, right? But what if the game only lasts 3 minutes? Doesn't really need it, right? So like KFCs and like big burst damage and control, those games don't last that long. I mean, they feel like they're a long time, but that's just because there's so much damage going on. There's long drawn out games. That's when you're going to want Unbreakable Spirit. Hand of Purity. That's when you're going to be using against Dot Cleaves, Boomkins, Unholy DKs, Affliction Warlocks. If they're like just an AIDS comp that's just trying to like drag you down with dots, that's what you're going to use is Hand of Purity. Holy Avenger, uncontested, Sanctified Wrath, Divine Purpose don't come close to its instant healing, its instant burst, its control, its ability. You're controlling it. You know what I mean? Like it's, but yeah, Hand of Purity or Holy Avenger is the go-to talent. Execution Sentence and Holy Prism, they're situational. Sometimes you're going to want that instant heal, that ability to get people out of stealth and things like that, and the instant damage. But a lot of times, I am using Execution Sentence. I oftentimes use Holy Prism in 2v2 arenas when the games don't last very long, but Execution Sentence is really good right now because healers got buffed. So the game is focused, I feel, around CC chains and sustained big damage. Execution Sentence gives me that extra burst to be able to really put the pressure onto my enemy, and with a CC chain it can be devastating because the pressure is on them and it stays on them consistently. But I've been finding it very useful ever since I got my Grievous Sword, and I've been finding it very useful in 3v3 arenas in particular. Glyphs. So we got a new glyph. It's freaking amazing. It's Glyph of Burden of Guilt. Glyph of Burden of Guilt is permanent. You shouldn't be really using anything else. that is the Glow 2 glyph. Glyph of 10 bars verdict, same sort of deal. It's fantastic. The 10% dealing extra damage reduction is great. Now it's again with exorcism, awesome. So and then you got the burden of guilt, which used to be a talent, now is a glyph form. It gives you that slow 50%. It's ridiculous every time you judge, and you're doing it so often. Awesome. And then I usually use Word of Glory because it is a sustained amount of damage increase. Though Double Jeopardy is pretty amazing, but you'd have to be a pretty confident PvP player to be able to use Double Jeopardy. Oftentimes, if I have Double Jeopardy, it's because my team is planning on making a hard switch. Generally against like resto druids or some sort of comp, and we're trying a strategy where it has to do with a hard switch. For instance, I'll be attacking one thing. I pop my cooldowns, I judge, and then my next judgment's on the next target with my cooldowns popping an additional 20% in my next judgment. It could be awesome. It could own somebody. But like I said, it's completely situational, and it's not sustained damage throughout the whole game. This will give you an overall bigger damage booster. So there's always that option. And then there's of course the Divine Shield change, which it will give you back health up to 50% depending on the debuffs that you take off yourself. That can be incredibly useful against compositions with lots of dots cleaves. Like for instance, if you got Divine Shield glyph and then you also have the talent to reduce the cooldown, it could really help you survive against those Affliction Warlock teams. So let's jump into gemming and reforging and enchanting. So our stat priority as it stands right now is strength, PvP power, resilience they're all kind of together. Those are like our main ones. Those are our bread and butter. Strength, PvP power, resilience. Our secondary stats are going to be haste, number 1, and then mastery and crit are kind of equal. I've been looking at crit more this season. I've been really liking my crit heals and things like that. So crit is what I've been doing, but it's all personal preference and play style. But I recommend trying both and seeing which one you prefer. I don't really never notice mastery. I'm sure that there is a number change there, but I personally like the feel of crit. So enchanting, it's pretty straightforward. You want your meta to be the 216 strength and 3% increased critical strike. Strength gems, obviously. Strength and haste gems for the yellow sockets. Resilience on the chest. Strength. And then I get Pandaren Step, obviously, for the haste. I override some of the PvP power socket bonuses for strength. If you want to look at the nitty gritty of all my gems, go ahead and just check out my Armory, or even Vanguard's Armory. He knows what he's doing, you know, so you don't have to worry about that. Strength on my gloves. And I got Dancing Steel on my weapon. Now, Dancing Steel isn't necessarily the best for all compositions. By the end of the season, I usually end up buying 2 Grievous swords or 2 Grievous weapons and putting the weapon chain on one of them and Dancing Steel on the other, because their ability to disarm you, certain comps like rogues and stuff like that, giving them that ability to disarm you for the full duration isn't worth having the occasional proc of that Dancing Steel gives you. So another change was the trinkets. Now they have a set bonus to give you 2600 resilience. It makes it priority to be PvP gem or PvP geared instead of PvE trinkets, and I am a fan of that. That is pretty sweet. So, reforging to haste and crit and mastery, but also you need to make sure you're hit capped and expertise capped. The soft cap is 3%. You can tell here by just hovering your mouse over it. So right now I'm at 3.09%. As close as I could get. The closer you are, the better. Meaning the other stats, like for instance strength, haste, mastery, and all that stuff, all those other stats, you'll get more out of the closer you are to the 3% soft hit cap. Same thing with expertise, though. I've reforged out of all my expertise, and this is how far I could get. That could be the case. It's generally the case with all fully geared PvP people. It's just the passive expertise that we get on our gear. No big deal. Just get as close as possible and you'll be good to go. Alright, in this part of my guide, I'm going to be looking into the different type of macros that you can use. Now, in every single one of my guide videos, I always make a point to tell people to branch out and try to make macros, or try to figure out some sort of way to use your healing or utility abilities on your partners easily and ideally without having to even target them. The way that I do it is I make modifier macros. So looking at this macro right here, for each individual person, I have target equals. My first arena partner happens to be Warrodox, and I hold down control, found right here in the macro, to be able to target him. So the way that the macro would work is Warrodox is control. My Word of Glory is keybound. This macro in particular is keybound to R. I would hold control and R, and my Word of Glory would then be directed to Warrodox without even having to target him. And that can be incredibly useful because you are currently killing a target. This is a 3v3 scenario, and you're attacking your target, you're giving that pressure, and then you're healing your team and helping your team without stopping the pressure. Perfect, right? That's the ideal situation that you want to get yourself in. Now I can use these macros for Word of Glory, Hand of Protection, Hand of Freedom, Hand of Sacrifice, Flash of Light, and even Execution Sentence or Prism, Holy Prism, because Execution Sentence and Holy Prism do heal your partners also. Yeah, not only do these macros also help your team, they also can be used on the enemy team. So this is my Arena 1, 2, and 3 macro for the enemy team. So looking over here at my Gladius, you have Arena 1, 2, and 3. Say I'm attacking the Rogue and the Priest is healing. I can hold down Arena 1 control and then use that key binding, which happens to be T, and that means I will then be hodging the Priest while still doing damage to the Rogue. Same sort of idea, but instead of healing, you're CCing or kicking or whatever. I also use it for my kick. So those are basically the macros that I use. Now you don't need macros this complicated as the modifier macros. You can just do a slash cast to a target, and it'll do the same thing, but you'll need a significant amount more buttons, and you can individually keybind each button. But you don't have. You can also do the modifier keybinds. Like for instance, you can make a keybinding into Shift 5 or whatever. They don't have to be in a modifier macro. But that's the way that I do it, and if you want to learn more about that, I have a modifier macro guide that you can find in the description of this video. But yeah, a couple tricks and tips for you trying to push some rating. One thing that I often see on like live streams and things like that is Retribution Paladins not using their cleanse. Now I'm not talking about their, what is this thing, the incapacitate or whatever it's called, to get you out of snares and whatnot. I'm talking about your cleanse. I use Slink Q for my cleanse, and what I mean by that is I use my middle button and I just hover over my partners and things like that. But cleansing poisons and cleansing devouring plague from the priests can be a game changer. You could, for instance, cleanse mind numbing poison off of your healer, which slows down the cast time. You could cleanse off wound poison from a rogue that reduces healing. I mean, literally, you can change the tide of a game just by getting one of those things off. Imagine if a warrior has Mortal Strike on you back in the day and it reduces your healing dramatically, and you could have just cleansed it off. It's a big deal. So make sure to start classing cleanse on people, or finding situations where that would matter. Like the biggest one I've seen is wound poison. Not only that, but when I'm 1v1ing a rogue and a rogue is putting wound poison on me or something to slow me or something, I usually spam cleanse on myself so I can take that wound poison off. And especially when I have like a big heal, I got my 3 stack of selfless healer or whatnot, and I'm gonna heal myself for as much as I can. I use 1 global cooldown before hitting my instant flash of light to take that wound poison off while I'm kiting him around with my my glyph of burden of guilt, and I cleanse the healing reduction off and heal myself up even better than I would originally. So it's just 1 global cooldown, something to take into consideration. Another tip and trick I offer you guys is to not necessarily try to find the best comps in the world. Try to find players that you like playing with and can find yourself improving with. Oftentimes I see people ask me, what's the best comp, what's the easiest comp to play with? Obviously, you're going to want to get something that sounds good to you. For instance, I love hunters, their control, their ranged burst. It's like a melee burst but ranged. I absolutely love playing with a hunter. And So I play with them. But so for instance, if your friend's a warrior and you guys are learning more and more about the game, that's what's important. You know what I mean? Is if you're learning and improving. If you find you ran into a wall and there's just certain comps that you can't get past, it's not necessarily because your comp is horrible. It's because that comp that you're facing isn't going to beat. You're not going to beat that comp with your comp. Sometimes it's just rock, paper, scissors, and you can't let it get you down. And you need to just continue to figure out what you're doing wrong and fix the mistake. And honestly, the biggest reasoning for people not being successful is because of the team morale. Like a couple losses and even I start to rage. So just keep a calm head, and that's the biggest secret. So earning big ratings. I hope you enjoyed this 5.4 guide. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to share them in my next video. Dmachine blast off. So I'm just gonna read you guys some of the comments that you left me in my last video and reply to them. So the first comment is, "I'm happy to see you're back. I love your videos," says J4NZZ0N. Thanks, dude. Francisco Hernandez says, good to know you're back. D Gangsta Swoops says, would love a 5.4 guide. Nice to have you back, bro. Your wish is my command. Gangsta Swoots. I think I saw another comment by you saying how to pronounce your name, and I thought it was pretty funny. Michael Wynn says, Dmachine needs to get a gladiator title. He deserves it, but I don't know why he thinks he's so low of himself. He is a beast rep paladin and should think of himself above others, and always that's the paladin attitude. People jelly because that class don't do it like the pallies. He needs to be the third true light bringer in the world. Number 1, Vanguards. Number 2, Jimmos, and Dmachine is third, and he totally deserves that glad title. Thanks, man. That means a lot to me. Maybe I'll find a team this season and push for it. Black Knight of Hate says, Eternal Flame got nerfed. It's only 50% now if used on yourself. Thanks a lot, man. And I really appreciate these sort of comments because they're not only informative, but they truly do matter to me because I learn more from my fans and my viewers than I do from any guide. Thanks, guys. Toxic Nips says, oh, if you ever want to run to the Holy Paladin, message me on here to get the details. Welcome back. Next time you decide to bot, open a second account so you're not putting your main account on the line. Good advice, and sure, I'll run with anyone who has a good attitude. They just have to whisper me in game, and I'm willing to play with anybody, as long as they're cool. Third. Ender Arms. I just butchered your name. Ender AMVS says, start live streaming more, and I got 2 upvotes. Copy. We'll live stream more. Go follow my live stream at twitch.tv/Dmachine52. This motivates me to live stream more, the more viewers and followers that I get. Please. Adele Lamont says, yo, I'ma make a rep pally on your server and join your guild. Everyone is welcome to join my guild on my server. You guys can make level 1s and whisper me, or just send me in-game mail and I'll get back to you whenever, but everyone's welcome to join Dmachine on Darkspear. You are back. Loving it, man. Thanks, Joel. Missy Cap says, good to see you back. Hope for more videos. Comly120 says, yo, Dmachine, check out Execution Sentencing Left a Bubble. I already have. Thanks a ton, man. Capano92 says, 6 videos. Skilled Gaming. Wish I was playing. Miss my rep. I'd run with you. Fuck yeah, bro. Wheeler Jez says, I'm happy to see that you are back and making videos. Keep them coming. Thanks, Wheeler J. I've seen your name many a time. Nightmaster23, why'd you get banned? I was botting. Traffic Cal says, awesome video, man. Thanks, dude. Emberstorm Gaming says, happy you are back, buddy. When can I give you your intro I made? If you want to see it and I am not around, it's on my channel. Guys, go check out that video. It's fucking sick and hilarious. Give him the D. Emberstorm Gaming is the man. He made the intro that was in this video now. So, go check him out. Ashbringer Light. I love that Dmachine is back. Thank you for getting unbanned. You're welcome. Helly Gaming says, nice to see you back even if you cheated. Hard to make money as PvP players. Blizzard should think about it. Waiting for your next videos. Alright, thanks, man. Kelly Ushis says, awesome, you're back, mate. Looking forward to more videos. Now I have a reason to level my Darkspear pally. Fuck yeah. Send me a whisper and you can get in the guild and shit and I'll talk to you. Iron Gaming Hub says, keep it up, man. Great job. Thanks, dude. Fraxy Wow says, Dmachine, I remember you since the first 100 sub mark. Come watch my videos if you have the time. I've been a better player because of you. Check my 3v3 footage if you want there. They are my best. Everyone is welcome. I remember you, FraxyWow, so I'm going to give you a shout out. FraxyWow, check him out. He's been around forever and he's a stand-up guy. Give him a shout out. Kakan says, glad to see some more rep videos. I think Selfless Healers is the best talent to try. Houston Satin's viable now and I love its pressure. Keep it up. Absolutely agree. Yeah, Flex is Dmachine, you're back. I wanted all your videos since about 2K subs, and every video helped me learn my class. Thanks, man. I finally got my 2.2 because of you. Keep making videos. Thanks, dude. Makes me feel all buttery inside. Molfred J says, hi, Dmachine. What do you think about Unbreakable Spirit plus Glyph of Divine Shield plus Evil Eye of Trinket of the Ret Paladin PvP Arena? Not familiar with the Trinket, but Unbreakable Spirit and Glyph of Divine Shield are actually really potent together, as you can imagine. I mean, against, like, for instance, like a dot cleave, like with the UA Warlock, I've seen it keep me up for a long period of time. You have a lot of dots, and you'll have a lot of consistent pressure, but it's a really drawn-out game, because that's the kind of games that they make. So I find that combo is really potent against UA Warlocks in particular, but I usually end up going Hand of Purity, so just long drawn out comps, usually just spell cleaves if it's like a Boomkin or in a mage or something. That sort of comp is what I use that for. Sampa Gaming says, I'm happy that you're back. Yeah, big damage and crit from an awesome guy and his Ret Paladin is always awesome to watch. Fuck yeah, man, thanks that. Ronnie Burton says, hey D, I'm glad you're back. You are amazing. I want to play my Paladin and be just like yours or better. Thanks a lot for the great content and stuff. Love from California. Been to California a couple times. Pretty sweet over there. Thank you for the comment, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Explode says, I sound like a creep when you read my comment, Rolf. It's good to see you back, though, and see how much it means to you and all the other Rets around the world. All the other Rets around the world. I like the sound of that. But, thanks, Explode. I just don't like my smile, and you called me out on it, so you hit a nerve. Oh, great, now everyone's going to comment on this well. Alright, well, that's my video, guys. Thanks for watching. Follow my Facebook page at facebook.com/DmachineTV. My live stream is twitch.tv/Dmachine52. As always, I am the Dmachine, and you're about to take the D. Not really, no. Yeah, blast off. But I feel I can still be of service with a few raspy rants and a heart that can hear your woe. That's some fucking G, dog. So from here I can hear from just where you were coming, and by empathizing frustration stops running the show.